Hello, this is Ali from Move Off Fitness and Wellbeing. This is the first video in my series of post-hysterectomy workouts. Today I myself am exactly 2 weeks post-operative from a total laparoscopic hysterectomy with removal of tubes and cervix but conservation of ovaries. So if you are watching this and you are post-hysterectomy, I know exactly what you're going through, unless you've had a total abdominal surgery, in which case you probably won't be doing this 2 weeks, you probably need a little bit longer. Now, the key thing with exercise post-hysterectomy, from all the research that I've now spent the last 2 weeks doing, is to really listen to your body and use that as your guide for if you are doing too much or if your body can tolerate it. For me, I was very fit going into my hysterectomy, so I've probably got an advantage on anyone that is less fit going into it, but that's no reason why you can't actually start to do some of these movements. But rule number one is listen to your body. If you get any pain, any tugging, any discomfort, your body's not ready for it. So that might be at the start of an exercise it decides it doesn't like it, it might be as it goes on, but as soon as you get any discomfort, pulling, tugging, pain, you must stop, because what you don't want to do is do anything that your body is not ready for. And there's nothing to stop you coming back and doing it again a couple of days later. That's pretty much the only rule. Everything today is going to be very simple. You're going to need a towel and yourself, and that's it. And the reason we're using the towel is to help us just get a little bit of work into the upper body, because if you're anything like me, you're now frustrated with lack of exercise and being able to do anything. But most weights and stuff we're not able to do yet because we're not allowed to lift loaded. But a towel is within the guidelines of under 2 kilograms, so we're going to use this. So first of all, we're going to do a little bit of stretching, because when you have to rest a lot, you do start to seize up a little bit, and that's what I've hated the most, is feeling like I'm just congealing. So we're going to start with some very simple movements just to create a little bit more ease through the body after the resting. And you can do this one as soon as you feel comfortable doing it. So you're going to take your towel, and all you're going to do is reach up overhead to a point that's comfortable. Remember, any tugging, that's the point you stop. And then a very small fold over towards the shins with the towel. So it's a very subtle fold down. You need to listen to your body and decide what feels comfortable. So you might have no bend yet, that's fine. You can just bring the towel straight down without the rounding of the spine. You might just roll the head down. You might be able to fold a little bit through the shoulders. I've actually got some decent range back. I can't get to my feet, but I'm able to go about halfway down my shins. But that's because I've actually been doing this for the last few days, and I have worked out what's now comfortable. Now, to get a little bit of work in the arms as you do this stretch, you're going to pull this quite tight, and that's just going to fire up the shoulders and the upper back a little bit, not too much. And we'll do a couple more of these. Each time you come up, try and find a little bit more range behind you as long as it stays comfortable. Okay, and then bring it down. We'll have a little release through the arms. I find that I'm fatiguing a little bit sooner than I did 2 weeks ago, so we're going to take regular breaks. So then we're going to come into a little bit of a hip mobilizer. So just lay the towel on your legs. We're going to lift one leg up so that the foot is on the outside of the thigh. Walk this one in to a comfortable position, and you're going to put your hand on this knee and move it forwards. Now, if you've got tugging or pulling already, then your body's not ready for this one. Come back to it in a couple of days, try again. So if you're feeling the stretch here and that's enough, you might stay there. If you're feeling like you've got that forward flex movement available to you, take a little bow and release. So it's a little tip forwards and then a slow return up. So I'm probably moving 3 inches forwards at this point. I'm going to just do about 10 of these, nice and slow, and all that will do is stretch into that hip, where if you're anything like me, you've been sat watching a bit of telly and spending some time on your laptop because you can't do much else. It's, feeling the effects. Try and keep relaxed through the shoulders. think this is 8. I'm going to do 2 more. Breathing helps, so make sure you're not holding your breath, just breathing whatever rhythm is most comfortable. Last one. And then to release it, you're going to let the leg fold over into a cross position and then slide off to the floor. And then we'll do the other leg. So slide the leg over to cross, bring it up and around. The foot's just on the outside edge of that thigh. It doesn't matter if it's here or here, as long as you're comfortable. Walk that foot across, hand or knee. Sit up nice and tall as long as it's comfortable. And then tip forwards. So this is my tighter hip, so it doesn't matter what's going on in my abdomen. My hip's not going to let me go as far anyway. So use lots of breath. Try and just get that hip to ease out. So for me this feels so great after all the sitting I've been doing, interspersed with little bits of walking. And you should be walking, you should really be walking from day 1 or 2 if you can, even if it's just for like 2 minutes, and then you gradually build that up. So I'm now at about 2 kilometers. I feel so great to be able to do that. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, and then again, let the leg cross first, and then release it, let it slide off to the floor. Good, let's come back to the towel. So we're going to do a bit of a shoulder opener. It's called a halo, so you're going to take your towel wide again, bend the elbows so that the towel's in front of you, and then just reach the towel behind you and back to the front. Now if you get tugging, body's not ready, come back to it in a couple of days. We're going to be very small, so it's a very tiny movement right now, keeping the hands close to the head. This can get bigger, you can like straighten the arms all the way out later on, but for now we're just going to keep it very compact. But what you should get is a nice opening through the front of the body as that towel goes around. We're just going to do 1 more this side, and then you're going to reverse it, go the other way, so around and in front. It's almost like you were just brushing your hair. Brush it out and then around. And you might find that as the body becomes more comfortable that you are naturally making this a little bit bigger anyway. Okay, do 1 more. Okay, towel down. Coming back to the legs, one of the muscles I found has got really tight is my hips and my quad, but until probably only yesterday, I couldn't actually grab my foot to do a standing quad stretch. So this is one of the ways that I've been trying to get into my hips and quads. So what you're going to do is take one leg, just kind of creep it over to the side of your chair, reach the foot back as far as is comfortable. Again, any discomfort anywhere around here, you need to rein it and make it smaller. So you'll find that that knee is pointing to the floor, the hip is pointing forwards, and all you're going to do is try and tip back. If it's comfortable, you can lean. I'm not comfortable, so I'm going to stay upright. Lean back slightly and just push that hip forwards. And you'll just get a little bit of length through this hip. It might not be a big stretch for me, I'm not getting a massive stretch, but know that it is lengthening this muscle out. So if it has been feeling a bit, gunky from lack of activity, it will help a little bit. And then we'll bring it back in. You might like to hold on to the seat to bring the foot back to the front. And then the other side. So we'll creep it back, knee to side, foot behind the seat, knee to floor, and then just try and tip that pelvis forwards so you get that stretch here. I actually feel more on this side against my tighter leg, so I feel a little bit more. Never worry if you can't feel a stretch, as long as you've moved the one end of the bone away from the other end of the bone, you have actually lengthened the muscle, so it will be giving you some relief. Okay, and then again, hold on to your seat, walk your foot all the way back in. I'm going to come back to our towel. Now, we're going to do a very gentle twist. Listen to your body. If it's not ready for it, don't do it. But the towel's going to come up in front of you with bent elbows. All you're going to do is slightly twist and come back to the middle. So, because of all the messing around that's happened on your insides, twisting is one of the things you're probably not very comfortable doing. But twisting is a part of life. So we do want to try and get back to doing it as soon as we can within comfort. So it's a really tiny rotation. So I've got more on my left side. It will look like right to you because we're opposite. But my right side was quite messed around with because one of the fibroids that I had, which is why I had the hysterectomy, was completely messed around my right ureter. So my surgeon took twice as long as normal. It was a 3¼ hour surgery. And he had to dissect the fibroid off my right ureter. So I've had a little bit more discomfort on that side, and I definitely get more pulling on that side as I'm recovering, which is why my motion is a little bit more limited in that direction, because it's not quite happy to give me more range yet. So the body will give you what it's comfortable with, and we just work with the body on that. And do one more each way. You should be getting a little bit of fatigue through the shoulders. And then towel down again. So we're just giving those arms lots of breaks in between. Now, let's try and do something for the hamstring. So what you're going to do is just stretch one leg out if you're comfortable. A little bit of a hinge forwards. Just pause for a moment. You can walk your hand down if that's comfortable, or keep it on the thigh, or even hold onto the chair. And this does use a little bit of abdominal strength, so if you're not comfortable, you can keep the foot down, but then you have to come forwards a little bit more in order to get it. So of the two, I find this the easiest stretch to actually get some hamstring. The other thing I've been doing, which I can't show you in here because I don't have it, I'm going to swap legs. So sit, leg comes up, little hinge over, is I've actually been dropping my heels off my stairs and then bringing my hands down to about 3 or 4 stairs higher up and letting my head rest on my arms. So I'm supporting my weight on my arms, but that's been giving me a really good hamstring stretch if you have the availability to fold and it's not uncomfortable. Okay, let's come back to our towel. One more stretch, then we're going to do a couple of work type things. So the towel's going to go overhead as long as you don't get any discomfort, and all you're going to do is let it go to one side. So you're flexing your waist into kind of like a C shape, up to the middle, flex the other way. Any tugging, any pain, come back to it in a couple of days. That is opening up that space between the ribs, the pelvis, getting into the lats and the tricep, all those areas that just, you know, if you've been sat around resting or in bed, they do just get a little bit feeling. This is probably one of the more advanced ones in terms of being only 2 weeks recovered. Like I say, I was very fit going into this and my body is recovering quite robustly. So you very much have to listen to your body. Everyone's on their own journey with a hysterectomy and you just have to dial into what you've got. But don't be afraid. Although we're healing, the body is very resilient, it is very strong. Okay, and then just bring that down one more time, a little bit of a shake. Okay, so what we're going to do is just a few very, very simple, I say strength exercises. We're not actually going to feel too much, except for the ones in the arms. And then we're going to do a couple of abdominal exercises, which you are allowed to do from 2 weeks. They are on the ACOG guidelines for post-hysterectomy, which is the American Council of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. So they do have some information on exercise on their website, although you probably get more useful information from the post-C-section exercise guidelines than hysterectomy, because they are more robust. Hysterectomy is still not particularly well researched and not a lot of information out there. So what you're going to do with your towel is bring it up overhead, pull as tight as you can, and keeping it taut, pull it down to the top of your chest and return it back up. So we're just going going to do 12 of these nice and slow. Now, if you want, you can actually integrate your pelvic floor training at the same time. So you're going to, if you want to, what we're going to do is pause at the top. You're going to tighten up around your back passage, tighten up around the middle of your bum, and then tighten up around the front of your bum. Try and hold all of that there. Not too hard, but holding it. Pull down, reach up, and then relax all of it. So we're only going to hold all the pelvic floor contraction for one pull. So let's do it again. Pull through the back passage, around the middle of your bottom, around the front of your bottom where you wee from, and then pull the towel down, relax, and let it all go. So I'm breathing as I do this because I'm talking to you. Make sure you're pulling up, squeeze down. So if you need a breathing pattern, because you should be breathing as you do this, then what I recommend is take a breath. Exhale, draw up the pelvic floor, back, middle, front. Inhale to pull the towel down. Exhale to return and let everything go. Pull everything up as you exhale. So this is all very slow, controlled training. It's not really scintillating training at all, but it's better than nothing. And it's going to mean less atrophy or weakening of the muscles, which is what happens the longer you don't exercise for. So for me, that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to keep some sort of strength in my muscles before I can get back to doing proper training, because it is going to be a gradual return to what I was doing before. Okay, one more. And then release. I don't know about you, but I can really feel that in my shoulders. Okay, so that should have worked your back, your shoulder muscles, postural muscles, which are good to be being worked, particularly if you're doing a lot of lying around. Okay, next one we're going to do is kind of a row, kind of a chest press. So hold your arms straight in front of you. Again, we'll try and work the pelvic floor in if you're comfortable doing it. So breathe in, breathe out, tighten up the back passage, the middle bottom, the front bottom, hold it, and then row the towel towards your chest, keeping the elbows and hands about the same height. Return and relax everything. Again, inhale, exhale, tighten bottom, back, middle, front, hold it all, draw the elbows back, a little kiss of the shoulder blades. As you push forward, try and separate the shoulder blades so you're making them as long as possible. Relax. So it's not just about squeezing in as hard as you can, but it's about extending out as far as you can. So we're getting as much range of motion as we can in those shoulder blades. And that's going to feel really good if you've been sat around watching TV like I have been. So I've managed to complete 2 box sets. I also managed to sit and do a lot of my social media scheduling, so that was productive. But no, overall, I can't wait to get back to work properly and exercise properly. Which is why I'm doing this, because I feel like I'm doing something constructive with my time and hopefully helping some other lovely ladies out there who are looking to add some exercise back in sooner rather than later. Okay, one more, breathe in, breathe out, contract, pull. Okay, and release. Oh, okay, we're going to get up from the chair. Now, we don't want to just stand up because your abs probably not quite ready for it. So use a hand, push yourself forwards, and then come up. So we're going to do just a little bit of a leg exercise. Hold your towel, put one foot forward, the other foot back, so your heel is going to be up on the back leg. Pull taut. You're going to bend down through your front leg. Try and get the towel back knee height, but again, listen to your body. If you start to get pain, tugging, discomfort, you're going to cut that short. And you might find that you get tugging quite quickly initially, and then it eases out as you go. That's just things shifting body working out what it's doing and if it's comfortable, if it feels safe. So some discomfort and pain can just be your brain saying, oh, I'm not sure about this, hang on, am I safe? Yes, I am, and then it will stop sending the pain signals. But obviously we know we've had surgery, so there is reason to be cautious. So all you should be feeling is that glute and the front leg, the quad, the hamstring, they're all doing just a little bit of something. It's just so nice to move and get the leg working a little bit. I'm going to do 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, and then a little ease out through the arms. We'll change legs. So the feet, they're about hip distance apart. The foot goes back 1 foot. It's really just like a kickstand on your bike. It just keeps you balanced. And again, we'll take the towel down. The chest stays up, so you're trying to avoid any folding over this time. So the chest stays high, the shoulders stay down. If you think of spreading out your toes, you're trying to push into your big toe. Your big toe is really your balance toe, so if you push into it, that does help you maintain your balance. Really good for the ankles. I mean, you could do the pelvic floor thing with this one as well, but I know for me, I'm finding pelvic floor much easier sitting and lying than I am standing at the minute, but hey, we'll get there. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, good. So the towel can go down onto the chair. We're going to make our way onto the floor. So best way to get down, if you haven't tried getting down yet, is to support yourself on the way down. So use your chair, bring down 1 knee, bend the other knee, and then you're going to sit to one side, keep supported on the chair, swing the legs around, use your hands as much as you need, and we're going to come down to laying very carefully. So let your knees drop to one side, support yourself on your hands to come down, and then roll onto your back. I know it's a little bit of a rigmarole, but it means that you're not going to be pulling anything you don't want to pull. Now, these are the exercises recommended on the ACOG website, post-hysterectomy, for up to 6 weeks. So we're going to start with a very simple pelvic tilt. We're going to integrate the pelvic floor. Pop your hands onto your tummy, and then what you're going to do is breathe in, breathe out, draw up the back passage, the middle bottom, the front bottom, and then tilt your lower back down into the ground. You should feel your belly move away from your hands. We're going to hold it for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax the tilt, relax the pelvic floor. And again, breathe in, breathe out, pull up back passage, middle, front. Make sure you're not clenching your buttocks so you can have a feel. Make sure that the bum's all loosey-goosey and you haven't used your bottom muscles. Inhale, tilt the lower back down as if you were trying to stop any airflow between your back and the floor. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We're going to do 3 more. Breathe in, breathe out, contract the pelvic floor. Inhale, tilt. 5, 4, 3, bum still relaxed. 2, 1, let it go. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor. Inhale, tilt. 5, 4, shoulders are relaxed, neck is long. 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor comes up. Inhale, tilt. Relax. Last one, inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor. Inhale, tilt. Exhale and relax. Okay, so the next one is going to be a knee to the side. So we're going to still integrate pelvic floor. So inhale, exhale, draw up back passage, middle, front. Make sure you've not integrated any of your other muscles. Slowly Tilt the pelvis back, just as you did before. Now allow one knee to drop out slowly to the side. The other leg is going to stay absolutely steady still. Return the knee back home. Do the other knee. Hopefully your pelvic floor is still drawing up. Come back to the middle. And now try and relax the pelvic floor. See how much contraction you still had left. It might have gone, that's fine, don't worry. Relax the tilt. I'm going to do it a couple more times. So breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor back, middle, front. Tilt the pelvis backwards. Slowly move one knee away. So as this knee moves, nothing else moves. You're trying to keep the abdominals still, the pelvic floor contracted, and the leg that's not moving is literally, it's not moving. You're pushing the foot into the floor lightly. Okay, and relax. So this one requires quite a lot of concentration. You might not be able to do very much to start with. So you might find that 3 reps is enough to begin. You might be able to do 5, but the idea is that you build these exercises up day on day. Try and get 1 more rep, because these are exercises that you can do every day. They're not particularly hard in terms of musculae. They're more hard in terms of concentrating and trying to get the right bits pulling up, the right bits moving, and the right bits not moving. Okay, I'm going to do 1 more. So relax, inhale, exhale, pelvic floor, tilt, and drop. The hardest thing is trying to keep that pelvic floor lifted as soon as those knees move. I know for me, mine just wants to drop right on out of there. Okay, last one is just going to be a very tiny ab curl. So same thing, inhale, exhale, pelvic floor back, middle, front, tilt the pelvis back, lift the head off the floor, and then lower back down. Relax. And do 5. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor back, middle, front. Inhale, tilt. Exhale, just lift the head, look down towards the knees. You should feel the abs just working under your fingers. Release. Again, any pain, any tugging, the body's not ready. Inhale, exhale, pelvic floor. Inhale, tilt. Exhale, lift. So you notice my shoulders haven't come up. Right now it's only my head. It's the smallest movement. And actually, in real life, I would tend to say an ab curl is just one of the worst exercises you can do for your abdominals. It's just so not useful because the abdominals decelerate flexion of the spine and work best from an extended position, but that's not going to be comfortable right now. So this just starts to get the abs thinking about working again, because remember, whatever type of surgery you've had, unless it was purely vaginal surgery, your abs, your muscles, they've had holes punched in them, or they've had one whole long incision put into it. So you need to be gentle with them and just get them to start thinking about how they contract and lengthen again. Okay, that for me I think was 5. So I'm going to come up. So to get out of this, walk the heels in, roll to the side, use your hands, get them under your shoulders, push yourself up, and then you can come to kneeling, and then standing again, nice and slowly. So this was my first exercise video. I'm actually going to do several workouts that go week on week, allowing you to build your strength, your fitness, your abdominal and your core strength post-hysterectomy. So I hope that you will find this very useful, and bye for now.